Okay, so it looks like it is right about 2 o'clock, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Brad or anybody, if you can hear me, type a Y in the chat box and see my screen okay. Want to make sure everything is working properly. Perfect, awesome. Okay, so this is my first deeper dive. I know you guys are used to Tom, but he is out of town today, so I am taking over. My name is Kinsey, and I'm the marketing director for IronTech, and I'm going to be going over creating a security first culture. So let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so what is a security first culture? Creating a security first culture, it starts with identifying and preventing employee vulnerabilities before they even happen. 90% of data breaches are caused by human errors. So that means attacks are more likely to occur as a result of employee actions rather than a direct attack to your organization. So with that being said, security really needs to be on everyone's radar, needs to be everybody's priority. Even top management down to the bottom of the totem pole, everybody needs to be aware of cybersecurity. They need to be aware and knowledgeable on current threats and risks that they are facing every single day. Your employees are your front line of defense. They are the ones opening emails every day, sending out those emails, opening links, paying invoices. You are only as strong as your weakest link. So you also can use, oh, there's Tom. You can also use a security first culture. You can use that to advocate security to gain trust. Your clients and your customers, if they know that you have that security first culture and you're implementing security into your organization, they're going to feel better just knowing that their information is secure with you. And it takes years to build organization's reputation, and all that can be destroyed in just a matter of seconds. So why a security first culture? I found these statistics and I thought they were absolutely mind-blowing. 50% of internet users receive at least one phishing email a day. 97% of people in the world can't even identify a phishing email. So think about that. 50% of people receive a phishing email every day, and 97% of those people can't even identify a phishing email. So think about that in your organization. Do your employees know how to spot phishing emails? Do they know what to be out on the lookout for? So that's where security awareness training comes in play. Security awareness training, KnowBe4 released this statistic, security awareness training, it reduces phishing susceptibility by 50%. So that 97% of people in the world that can't even identify a phishing email, you can reduce that in your organization and reduce your chances of getting hit with a cyber attack. So what are some employee threats? What are some threats your employees are facing? Phishing attacks are probably the most common. I know you all have seen, those scam emails. We all get them. I put an example on here for COVID-19. I thought it would be good just with everything going on. And it also kind of shows you that threats are ever changing. Yes, hackers are becoming more advanced every single day. And with that, the threats are going to be changing as well. And with COVID-19, malicious actors, they see the pandemic, they see it as an opportunity to lure people in and catch their victims. So another common attack is business email compromise attacks. So say, for example, you get an email from your CEO requesting that you transfer some money over into this bank account, and that's actually a usual normal job for you. That's something that you do quite often. So it's a normal task. It doesn't throw you off too much. But do you know how to recognize that it's really not your CEO? It's really not your boss asking you to request those funds. So what happens when your employee sends those funds because they don't know any better? They don't even think twice about it. What happens then? So you need to be proactive in that aspect. Password attacks are also very common. I'm going to talk some more about password hygiene and password security here in a little bit. But unless your employees are told and held accountable to create those strong and unique passwords, you don't necessarily know that they are. And that leaves your organization vulnerable in so many different ways. So many different ways. So zero trust security. This goes hand in hand with creating a security first culture. And I kind of put it into three groups because I thought it was easiest to see it that way. So we have verify users, validate devices, and limit access. Zero trust security, it's based on the principle of maintaining strict access controls and not trusting anybody. I mean, absolutely anyone. It doesn't matter if they're a management position level, if they are your assistant or your best friend for that matter that you're working with. You need to have the mindset that you cannot trust anyone. So with verifying users, this is pretty much you proving that they are who they say they are when logging into a certain account. So that could be with multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication, which I will also go over here in a little bit. But it is that additional layer of security. Validate devices. All devices that are being used to work for your organization, they need to be recognized and verified by your organization. And I know a lot of people are working from home right now because of COVID. More than ever, people are working at home because of COVID. And some of them might be using their personal devices, whether that be their laptop or their computer. Well, what happens when their children are getting on their computer or their laptop after hours and going to different websites and clicking on different links, not even realizing that that could be malicious? Well, that right there brings a whole new wide array of threats to your organization that was not even once there. So, limit access. So, this pretty much anyone with administrative privileges in your organization, they're going to be a hot target for hackers. They realize, I mean, hackers aren't stupid. They know who the bosses are. They know who has the power. They know who moves money around. You need to make sure that anyone with, those administrative privileges, you need to make sure it's strictly managed. So anyone, you need to make sure that you're only granting access to resources needed for their job duties. So say you have someone in marketing and they have credentials to get into the accounting software. Well, if they're never ever going to access that accounting software, why do they even have those credentials? So limiting access, these three things right here will dramatically increase your security first culture and your stance. And it's really, there are three extra layers of security that you can add to your organization. And it all starts with creating that security first culture. So if you have been on any of our webinars, you know we really pushed no more one and done trainings. Those annual trainings that you do once a year, they become outdated so fast. Hackers are becoming smarter every single day, and those threats are evolving as well. And your employees, unless they are told and taught what to look out for, do you just expect them to know? I mean, we go back to that statistic, and 97 of people cannot even identify a phishing email. So do your employees, like, can you say knowingly that your employees know how to identify that phishing email? Do they know that they need to be using strong passwords and complex passwords? So your employees, they're your front line of defense. You need to make sure that they are up to date on the threats that they are facing every single day. So let's kind of talk about continuous cybersecurity training. Here at IronTech, we use it's something called PII Protect, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's absolutely amazing. Um, it really tells you who your weakest link is in your organization, and it creates that security first culture. We here at IronTech, all of us are enrolled in it, and it's absolutely great. There's this video, and I think it does a really good job at explaining the benefits. So I'm going to play this for you guys really quickly. Can everybody still see my screen? Can someone let me know in the chat box real quick if they can see the YouTube screen? Yep, perfect. Thanks, Lorraine. Okay, let me here. Okay, so I feel like that it does a really good job at just kind of explaining um, what you can get out of security training. Okay, so right here, I thought I would kind of walk you guys through what you would see as if you were a manager in PII Protect. So you really can see who your weakest links are. So right here, you can see the employees listed out with their score and their risk, whether it's high, medium, or low. Of course, this is all the overall company because it is the employee view. The average phishing fail rate, so that was mentioned in the video. There are phishing simulations that are sent out and they look, so for example, say it's an offer for a free $50 Amazon gift card. And your employee, they click the link for that free Amazon gift card thinking it's legit when really it's a simulated phishing email. And then it'll pop up, they click it, pops up, and it says, oh, you've been phished. And it'll tell them what they need to look out for next time. So it's a learning process, and it's really awesome. So I'm going to switch over to the employee view. So every week, there are micro training quizzes sent out via email. I keep mentioning how you need to be up to date on current threats and risks because they are so ever changing. This training, every week, an email comes out with a video clip, 3 to 4 questions, and the video's 1 to 2 minutes long, and it's over threats that we are facing today. So you can see on here, we have your Facebook hacks, we have tax season scams, Android malware, Twitter password advisory. It's not only things that your employees can use to apply in your organization, but also in their personal lives as well. So really, really love this training. Okay, we've got the slides pulled back up. I hope everybody can see the slides. So of course, with the continuous cybersecurity training, that's how you can identify your weak links and work from there. So something else you can do to kind of implement the security first culture and get it going, and this is also an additional layer of security, is the multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication. What it does is it grants access after presenting 2 or more pieces of evidence to authenticate whatever you're logging into. We use Duo. It's so quick and easy to use. Of course, you can see in the picture, you just log in and then you confirm that it's you on your phone. And then boom, you're logged in. It's absolutely awesome. And it is backed by that zero trust philosophy when it comes to verifying users and not trusting anybody. So multi-factor authentication, it's that additional layer of security, and it protects those passwords as well. So password security. I can tell you right now that if you are reusing passwords, if you're reusing your passwords and we stick your email in our dark web scanner to see if your email's been compromised, I bet you it has been. You do not need to be reusing passwords. And it absolutely blows my mind that 65% of people, they reuse passwords across multiple sites, if not all sites, according to a Google study. If you use these same credentials, login and password for one site, and hackers gain access, they then have access to every other account using those credentials. So I cannot stress password security enough. We recommend using a password manager because, I mean, let's be honest, there's no way you can remember every password and every login for every account without having them written down somewhere in an Excel sheet, and that's not secure. So with 1Password, it's really great because you just have to remember one long master password, and it can be a phrase, to then have access to every other password in your 1Password account. So it's really handy. It can be used on all of your devices. So not just your laptop, but it connects over and syncs over to your phone or your iPad as well. So it's honestly a lifesaver, a time saver. You would be so thankful you did it. So what kind of security culture does your organization have? I really want you to think about some of the things I've gone over in the zero trust security. Is that something that your organization, did they implement a security first culture? Is it on your radar? Is it on everybody's radar? Because I can tell you right now, there's no in between, it's either good security culture or bad. You've got the good hygiene or the bad hygiene. And there's really no in between. And you can easily create a security first culture, but it takes effort and it takes time, and you have to make sure you get everybody involved, because it can't just be, a few people in the company. Oh yeah, all for cybersecurity. They're aware, they're making sure that, they're doing their quizzes and they're looking out for phishing emails. But is everybody? And it's one of those things, with the continuous cybersecurity training, one of the most important factors in that is being able to hold your employees accountable. And when they have those weekly quizzes coming out, they get graded on that. They need to be doing that every single week, and that holds them accountable. You can hold them accountable. You can honestly know and trust that they are staying aware and knowledgeable on their cybersecurity. They need to be proactive, just like you do. Everybody does. So let's go to the next slide. So where do you start? The continuous cybersecurity training. We are going to continue to drill it and drill it. It is more critical than people think. It ensures that your employees are aware of the consequences failing to protect your organization from outside threats. And that's really what it does. And of course, the zero trust security and having a security first culture, they go hand in hand. It's not just those 3 points. I mean, there's more you can do to have that security first culture, but those 3 points, best way to start. You need to make sure that that cybersecurity is a priority, and you can do that again by holding everyone accountable. So I highly recommend, if you haven't already, to get a schedule a security assessment with us to see where you already are left vulnerable. We would love to help you get started in creating your security first culture. It may seem like a lot, at the beginning, but it's take one thing at a time. Sit down, let's talk for 15 minutes, and we can give you a place to start, a starting point. But we really would love to help you with that. So, of course, if you have, if you're interested in the free security assessment or the 30-day trial of the cybersecurity awareness training, shoot me an email or Tom an email or Brad, or give us a call. We would love just to even sit down and talk with you guys. And I mean, it's just security first culture. It does seem like a lot looking at it, but again, you just have to find your starting point, figure out where you can start to get your employees going, get them involved, because again, everybody needs to be aware. So, do we have any questions? Oh, somebody raised their hand, it looks like. Oh, Mary.
I don't see anything in the Q&A right now, Kenzie.
Awesome. Well, next week we're going to be Tom will be talking about defense in depth, your security layers. So make sure you register for that, of course. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Of course, if you do think of anything, have any questions ever, just shoot us an email or give us a call. And I'll see you guys next week. Thanks,
hey, Kenzie,
everybody.
hold on. We have something in the Q&A.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, Mary has a question. She said, even if we do your training, I'd like to put stuff in our newsletter.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any content?
We've got lots of content. Lots of content on everything, all of it. Phishing scams, business email compromise scams, tips, checklists. We have it all. Does anybody have anything else?
I see Kay is in the chat asking
Yes,
how do they get the content?
Yes, just send me an email. Go back on that slide, or whoops, send me an email or give us a call at 434-1400. All righty, guys. Thank you so much for coming.